We want to continue to bring you some of these big top headlines that we are following for you. And one of them, the vault is open for more of the Epstein files to come out. This is what we are learning from the Department of Justice, putting out another really trove of files that are continuing to come out. The AP and Fox News continuing to look at those names, as well as photos that are coming out. The White House, Abigail Jackson from the White House, saying, per the Epstein Files Transparency Act, DOJ was specifically instructed only to redact the faces of victims and or minors. Here is a picture of Bill Clinton with his arm around Michael Jackson, and redacted individuals. And so that is some of the early thinking right now of these files that are being released.
Welcome, guys. Adam is here. So this is happening. Trump, who spent years attacking mainstream media as fake news and the enemy of the people, has now turned on Fox News, his most loyal media ally for nearly a decade. The reason? Fox dared to report on leaked documents revealing something from his past he wanted hidden. Watching the man who built his movement on media attacks now melt down over his own favorite network is, by any standard, unprecedented.
Okay.
Sir, do you need to apologize to service members and veterans?
No, it was a fake story written by a magazine that was probably not going to be around much longer. But it was a totally fake story. And that was confirmed by many people who were actually there. It was a terrible thing that somebody could say the kind of things, and especially to me, because I've done more for the military than almost anybody else. You look at how the VA is doing, it's doing incredibly well. We got all sorts of things done, from accountability to veterans' choice to everything. And it's got right now, the highest approval rating.
Let me take you inside what happened. Fox News got its hands on some of the Epstein documents, the files that have been circulating for years, the files that contain the names of powerful people who associated with Jeffrey Epstein, the files that everyone has been waiting to see fully unsealed. And among those documents, there is material that connects Donald Trump to Epstein in ways that go beyond the publicly known social relationship.
Tonight, a new trove of photos from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, revealing more proof of the convicted sex offender's relationship with several powerful men.
These pictures, some of these photos, are really disturbing.
These images, part of a tranche of more than 95,000 undated photos, handed over to the House Oversight Committee and released by Democrats. They do not appear to show any illegal activity. One shows Epstein with a younger President Donald Trump and an unidentified woman. Trump also appears in other pictures, without Epstein, but with women whose identities are protected by the committee. Trump has denied knowing anything about Epstein's criminal activity.
He has photos with everybody. I mean, almost, there are hundreds and hundreds of people that have photos with him, so that's no big deal. I know nothing about it.
Material that Trump has spent years trying to keep out of the spotlight. Material that, now that it's out there, has sent him into a spiral of rage that we have rarely seen from any president, let alone this one. Fox News covered it. They reported on what the documents showed. They did what news organizations are supposed to do. They followed the story where the evidence led. They didn't bury it to protect a political ally. They didn't spike it because it would make a powerful person uncomfortable. They did journalism. And for that, the President of the United States is demanding they be shut down. Let me read you some of what Trump posted on Truth Social, because the posts themselves are a window into a mind that is coming apart at the seams. He's saying Fox betrayed America. He's saying the FCC must investigate Fox News immediately. He's saying the commission must revoke their license and get them off the air. He's calling for the full weight of the federal government to be brought down on a news network because they reported a story he didn't like. Think about that for a moment. The President of the United States is using the official platform of his office, the social media account that is treated as an official communication channel, to demand that a government agency shut down a news organization. That's not rhetoric. That's not hyperbole. That's a direct threat to use state power to silence a media outlet that dared to criticize him. And here's what makes this moment so important. This is not CNN. This is not MSNBC. This is not the Washington Post or any of the other outlets that Trump has been attacking for years. This is Fox News, the network that has been his shield, the network that has employed his defenders, the network that has given him softball interviews and friendly coverage and a platform to speak directly to his base without the filter of journalists who might ask follow-up questions. Fox News has been Trump's home base in the media landscape, and he is now demanding that they be destroyed. That tells you everything you need to know about how this man views loyalty. It's not a relationship, it's a transaction. You are useful to him as long as you serve his interests. The moment you do anything that he perceives as disloyal, the moment you step out of line, the moment you put journalism ahead of personal loyalty, you become an enemy. And enemies, in Trump's world, must be crushed. The pattern is familiar to anyone who has been watching this administration. Trump has threatened to revoke licenses for ABC. He's done it for CNN. He's done it for NBC. Every time a network covers him negatively, every time they air a story he doesn't like, he reaches for the same authoritarian playbook. Attack the network. Demand government action. Call for their license to be revoked. Threaten to use the power of the state to silence them. But this time, the target is different. This time, he's attacking his own people. And the reaction from the right is going to be fascinating to watch. Because Fox News is not just a network. For millions of Trump supporters, Fox News is where they get their information. It's where they go to hear their views reflected back at them. It's the media institution they trust. And now Trump is telling them that this institution, the one they've trusted for years, should be shut down by the government. The cognitive dissonance is going to be enormous, and the political consequences are going to be severe. Now, let's put this meltdown in context, because the timing of it is almost too perfect to be believed. While Trump is on Truth Social demanding that the FCC shut down Fox News, the government is falling apart around him. The Department of Homeland Security is in crisis. Airports are grinding to a halt because of the funding fight. Congress is actively moving toward impeachment, with articles already filed and a trial looming. The Supreme Court has ruled against him on tariffs, costing his administration billions. His approval ratings are in freefall. His own party is fracturing, with Republicans quietly wondering if maybe, just maybe, it's time to move on. And instead of dealing with any of that, instead of trying to find a way out of the shutdown, instead of working with Congress to avoid impeachment, instead of governing, he's on social media having a meltdown about Fox News. He's demanding that the government shut down a television network. He's threatening to use the power of his office to retaliate against journalists who did their jobs. This is not a president who is managing a crisis. This is a president who has become the crisis. The Epstein documents that triggered all of this are worth understanding because they're central to why Trump is so enraged. The connection between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein has been known for years. They were photographed together. They attended events together. Trump once famously said he'd known Epstein for 15 years and called him a terrific guy. That's all been public. But the leaked documents apparently contain something more. Something that Trump has been desperate to keep out of the public eye. Something that Fox News in its coverage brought into the light. And Trump's reaction tells you that whatever is in those documents, whatever the journalists at Fox News uncovered, is damaging enough that he is willing to destroy his own media ally to try to contain the damage. He's not just upset, he's not just annoyed, he is terrified. And terrified presidents, especially ones who already show authoritarian tendencies, are dangerous. Because here's what Trump is really demanding. He's not just asking the FCC to look into Fox News. He's not asking for a fine or a sanction. He's demanding that they be taken off the air entirely. He wants their license revoked. He wants the government to shut them down. That is not something that happens in a democracy. That is something that happens when a dictator decides to consolidate control over the media. That is something that happens when a leader decides that the only acceptable press is the press that praises him. This is what authoritarianism looks like. This is the playbook. Control the media. Silence the critics. use the power of the state to punish anyone who dares to speak against the leader, and Trump is doing it openly on his public social media account for the entire world to see. The fact that he's doing it to Fox News, of all outlets, makes it even more striking. Because if he's willing to turn on Fox News, if he's willing to demand the destruction of the one media organization that has consistently defended him, then there is no one he won't turn on. There is no ally he won't sacrifice. There is no institution he won't try to destroy if it gets in his way. And Congress is watching. The same Congress that is already considering impeachment is watching a president try to use the power of the federal government to shut down a news network. They are watching a president attack the First Amendment. They are watching a president act like an authoritarian strongman. And they are taking notes. This Fox News meltdown is not happening in a vacuum. It's happening while the impeachment articles are being debated. It's happening while Democrats are building their case that Trump is unfit for office. It's happening while Republicans are quietly wondering if they can continue to defend a man who is trying to shut down the network that has been their party's media arm for a generation. And the evidence is piling up. The abuse of power charges from the ICE raids. The obstruction charges from defying Congress, the unauthorized war in Iran, and now an attempt to use the FCC to silence a news outlet that reported something he didn't like. Each one on its own might be enough to make the case for removal. Together, they paint a picture of a president who has no respect for the Constitution, no respect for the separation of powers, no respect for the fundamental principles of American democracy. The First Amendment is clear. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of the press. That's not a suggestion. That's not a guideline. That's the bedrock principle of American democracy. And Trump is demanding that the government, through the FCC, violate that principle. He is demanding that a news outlet be shut down because it reported the truth. That is not something a president does. That is something a dictator does. And Congress has a constitutional duty to stop it. Now, let's talk about what this means for Trump's relationship with his own supporters. Because the Fox News audience is Trump's audience. They are the people who voted for him. They are the people who defend him online. They are the people who watch Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham. They are the people who have made Fox News the most watched cable network in America for years. And Trump is now telling them that the network they trust should be shut down by the government. Think about the position that puts them in. They have to choose between Trump, the man they've supported through everything, and Fox News, the network that has shaped their worldview for decades. That's not a choice they want to make. And the fact that Trump is forcing them to make it over a story about his own connections to Jeffrey Epstein is going to alienate a lot of people who have been with him from the beginning. Trump is already losing support. The polls show it. The defections among Republicans in Congress show it. The nervousness in the party about the midterms shows it. And now he's attacking the one media institution that has been holding his coalition together. He's not just losing support. He's actively destroying the infrastructure of his own movement. And for what? For a story that Fox News reported. For a story that, if he had just ignored it, would have been a one-day news cycle. For a story that his attacks have now elevated into a major controversy that will be covered for weeks. Trump's meltdown has guaranteed that the Epstein documents and what they show about his relationship with Epstein will be in the headlines for the foreseeable future. He has taken a story that might have faded and turned it into the centerpiece of a constitutional crisis. That's what desperation looks like. That's what a president who is losing control looks like. He's lashing out at anyone and everyone, even his own allies, even his own media supporters, because he doesn't know what else to do. The walls are closing in. The impeachment is coming. The courts are ruling against him. The government is shutting down. And instead of dealing with any of it, he's on social media demanding that the government shut down Fox News. Now, what comes next? Congress is going to move faster. That's almost certain. Every day that Trump spends attacking the media, every day he spends demanding that news outlets be shut down, is another day that makes the case for impeachment stronger. The Democrats already had the votes in the House. Now they have the moral authority. They can point to the President of the United States trying to silence a news organization and say, this is why he has to go. And the Senate? The Senate is where the real battle will be. The House will impeach. That's a foregone conclusion at this point. The question is whether the Senate will convict, whether 13 Republicans will decide that a president who tries to shut down news outlets is a president who has to be removed from office, whether the First Amendment means enough to them to risk their political careers. This Fox News meltdown might be the thing that gets them there. Because when a president tries to shut down a news network, when he demands that the FCC revoke their license, when he threatens to use government power to silence the press, that's not a partisan issue. That's not something that can be dismissed as a witch hunt or a political vendetta. That's a direct assault on the Constitution. That's a direct assault on the foundation of American democracy. And any senator, Republican, or Democrat who cares about the country more than they care about party has to act. Trump has given Congress the evidence they need. He has given them the justification they need. He has shown in the clearest possible terms that he is not a president who respects the Constitution. He is not a president who believes in democracy. He is a man who will use any tool, any power, any lever of government to punish anyone who crosses him. And that man cannot be allowed to remain in office. So here's where we stand. The President of the United States had a meltdown because Fox News reported the truth. He demanded that the government shut them down. He attacked the First Amendment. He attacked press freedom. He acted like an authoritarian strongman, and in doing so he gave Congress everything they need to remove him from office. The impeachment is coming, the trial is coming, and when it's over, when the votes are counted and the history is written, this moment, the moment when Trump tried to shut down Fox News because they reported something he didn't like, will be remembered as the moment when he finally went too far, the moment when even his allies couldn't defend him, the moment when the country finally said enough. Because in America, the press is free. In America, the president does not get to shut down news outlets. In America, the First Amendment is not optional. And any president who tries to silence the press, any president who demands that the government destroy a news organization, any president who acts like a dictator instead of a democratically elected leader is a president who has to go. Trump is going to learn that lesson the hard way, and the whole country is going to watch it happen.